Monday Night Raw. Alright, what do I have to say about this show? A lot of strange and waste of time I saw on this show, but a lot of things did happen on here since it's the night after Money in the Bank, and I'm sure many people are either pissed off or have a 50-50, place in Money in the Bank. I will say before I even get into this Monday Night Raw review, please check out my Money in the Bank review from last night. I think I did a pretty good review. Put about 50 something minutes in. Check that out if you get the chance, of my Money in the Bank 2019 review, from everything from the Money in the Bank matches to the title changes to AJ versus Seth. Everything you need to know. If you missed it, please check that out. Check out that review. But moving into Monday Night Raw, we first kick off the show with Boombox Brock out there, or Radio Brock. I don't want to say Radio Raheem, but Brock is just doing this with the Money in the Bank briefcase now, just holding it like a boombox, like he's just listening to it, which I thought was pretty funny when he came out doing that with Paul Heyman. Of course, they recapped what happened last night as Heyman got the microphone saying, if he were the WWE champion or Universal champion, he'd be very paranoid right now because they are now vulnerable to the greatest assassin in WWE history. And, Seth and Kofi, that they could, Brock could strike at any time and take that title away from them from at that point. But Seth Rollins came out and pretty much, talked about what happened last night of him being AJ Styles one-on-one. Pretty much Lesnar and Heyman laughed at him as Seth got in the ring. Seth's, I should be ecstatic because, that he won't have to fight his life over Styles or anything, but he's not in a good mood right now, and he's, pretty much looking at Seth with but looking at Brock with that Money in the Bank contract. Rollins pretty much said that, he's been trying to be champion so he can inspire people, and he wants the type of champion that Lesnar have had the guts to be. As Rollins pretty much said that I beat you at WrestleMania, okay? And I can beat you again. So instead of waiting around for you to cash in, why don't you do it right now and we'll fight right now? So cash in the Money in the Bank contract tonight and let's do it. But Lesnar pretty much got in his face then. Heyman says, it's patience. And that is something you do not have right now, is patience. So all you need to do is wait, okay? You're going to wait until something happens. And pretty much I thought this was a very sick burn by Paul Heyman to what he said about Seth Rollins next. I thought this was pretty funny, and he got him on this one. But yes, with that sick burn, pretty much said, excuse me. Yeah, pretty much said that, that Seth Rollins should be used to waiting because he waited around 7 hours at WrestleMania to see his girlfriend main event the show. Something that Seth Rollins worked hard for, which that was a very sick burn right there. I'm actually surprised they even mentioned that on TV. That was his girlfriend. Like we all know now since they let the cat out the bag and everything. I was just surprised they even mentioned it on TV. But Rollins pretty much got in Lesnar's face. They pretty much had a standoff then. Heyman pretty much held Lesnar back and pretty much says, he's not worthy to face Lesnar again. Heyman pretty much says, it could be a new day, and maybe it could be Brock Lesnar versus Kofi Kingston for the WWE title. But next thing you know, Kofi Kingston comes out. Actually had a better pop this time in Albany, New York. And, wild card rules are here in effect, so it's the wild card. Kofi pretty much told Rollins, I'm not trying to steal your thunder, but I'm trying to establish my legacy as the WWE champion. Kingston pretty much says, he wants to be remembered as the greatest WWE champion of all time, and he can't do that until he faces someone, the best night after night. And that Lesnar, if he cashes in tonight, you need to cash it in on me. But Heyman pretty much said, either it's the WWE or the Universal champion, one of you could be defending and going against the big box office draw here. And Heyman pretty much says that the Money in the Bank winner doesn't come to you. You guys come to him, it looks like. It's supposed to be the other way around. And Heyman pretty much said that, it's an inside word that you guys are not finished for tonight. Pretty much says, we'll be here all night. We're not going to go anywhere. Because the best is yet, or not the best, but as they say in the commercial, stay tuned. The beast is yet to come. So, not a bad segment. Lesnar pretty much, of course, teasing and, pretty much giving him a hook all night. Teasing that if he's going to cash it in, who will he cash it in on? Could it be Kofi? Could it be Seth Rollins? I don't know. So it's just teasing for the night. I did like Brock and his boombox effect though with the briefcase. I actually thought that was pretty funny. And Heyman, of course, being a master on the mic like usual. Sick burn on Seth Rollins though. I did enjoy that. Mick Foley was arriving to the arena. We're gonna get to that title belt sooner or later. We will get to that. Sami Zayn was then talking to Bobby Lashley. Pretty much, he's got to face him again tonight, and I guess he's helping Bobby Lashley because Lashley has to help face Strowman at the Super Showdown, which I find that very hilarious that they said this is almost equivalent or better than WrestleMania. I don't know how much blood money they are paying these people to say that, but I think that is literally insane that you even compare this Saudi show to WrestleMania. Someone must be on drugs, whoever wrote that line. And I think it was someone in creative that did that. But pretty much since he was at Sammy had to face him, Lashley said, good luck, soften him up for me. Next thing you know, Sami Zayn was out there waiting for Braun Strowman. The chase happened. And as the chase happened, pretty much Strowman and Bobby Lashley had a stare down then after that. They had a stare down. And pretty much, Zayn tried to get him, sucker punch him, but it did not work after the sucker punch. But yes, he ended up sucker punching him. Still, Strowman knocked him off and ran. Like I said, Sammy, but, Strowman pretty much told Lashley then, I'll deal with you later. I'm dealing with him. Pretty much, he fought him back all the way to the ring, throwing him back in there. Zayn tried to dodge Strowman, but it did not work. It ended up with a power slam. So, I don't understand what they're doing with Sami Zayn at this point, though. I don't even know where this is going anymore. He antagonized the fans. Now he's in this odd feud with Braun Strowman getting thrown in dumpsters and getting beat up last night, which they say it wasn't him, but could have been anybody. But now, tonight, I guess he gets his payback on him for the whole Money in the Bank thing last week. So, there you go. That's that. Kind of a waste to me, but they got to hype, this Super Showdown thing with Lashley and Strowman. Seth and Kofi Kingston were walking backstage until Triple H told him you're going to be in the main event of, once again, who did they put him in the main event again? The Corbin Coalition. My God, this team must be getting a lot of hype in this main event. Especially Corbin there. Like, once again, he's in the main event. Corbin, he wasn't even in the main event last week, but he was involved in the main event. And he was the main event before, and he's the main event again. Why do they look at this man as a ratings draw? I don't know. He ain't raising the ratings, okay? Wasn't he the reason why a few weeks ago that the ratings went really low? Didn't they blame this man for the ratings a few months ago when the McMahons took over the entire show? So, the ratings, they must think he's a draw. I don't see what they like this guy. I don't understand anymore with Corbin. I don't know. I'm like, well, he's in the main event again, folks. The main event again. Next thing you know, they were going to talk to Lars Sullivan about his destructive force. I'm sure like nobody didn't really give a crap about him when he even came out there. So, supposed racist Sullivan, came out. He didn't really say nothing before he could even speak. The Lucha House Party pretty much came out and pretty much started hitting him with multiple drop kicks to the outside of the ring, started beating on him. Sullivan did what he could to fight them off and everything. The Lucha House Party did what they could, but they pretty much had to regroup and get out of there because I think did he hit that sit down power bomb on that? I think he set the power bomb on Dorado, but the Lucha House Party got him out of there and then pretty much headed back to the back. I know they were trying to make Sullivan look like a monster. Despite all the recent allegations, I will say this: if you're trying to make him look like a monster, shouldn't he just destroyed all three of these guys, except all three of them damn near taking him off of his feet? Because I don't think he's supposed to do that, and I don't even know if they should even have this guy talk, to be honest. Personally, I don't even think they should really have this guy out right now. Either way, he's going to get a push, but just due to the recent things that went down, and the whole message board post. Should he really be on TV now? It's like I said last night. Should he really been out there, especially what he said about Mexicans and everything in the past? And I know Kalisto had said something about it on Twitter, if you don't know about that. So, I don't know. I don't even know where they're going with this guy, but I guess they got to have him squash people and make him some silent killer, because like he was going to talk, but he didn't. But I don't know. We'll see what goes on from that. Ricochet went against Cesaro with new entrance music and a whole new entrance in graphics also. Very green. The music was alright. I guess the bar is over. I don't know what happened to Sheamus, people. Is Sheamus hurt, or is it the spinal thing again? I don't know, because like the bar just kind of ended very abruptly with no type of explanation why. So I just assume Sheamus is still on SmackDown and Cesaro was on Raw, which, Cesaro was pretty much taking advantage of Ricochet's injuries. This was a really good match, I will say that, because Ricochet, I think he was mostly trying to go for the 630, but Cesaro ended up hitting him with the Gotch Neutralizer, pretty much winning because, Ricochet's back was injured. So I guess this gets some heat on Cesaro. I don't know where this is going, or if this is a push. You gave him new graphics, you gave him new music, so I'm assuming it's going somewhere. I don't really think Ricochet should be losing that much on TV, but due to him getting, I guess, hurt last night in the ladder match and how chaotic it was, I guess there was an explanation behind it on this one. So it does make sense, but it wasn't a bad match though. Roman Reigns came out because wild card. That's why he's out there. And before he could say anything, Shane McMahon came out, pretty much says, Reigns using the wild card rule, and Shane says he's the best in the world, and that he won that cage match against the Miz last night. Now that he is done with the Miz, he can move on to Reigns. And since Reigns is done with Elias, I can move on to you now also. Because Shane pretty much told Reigns, you're out of your mind of what you did to his dad Vince. And Reigns says he hates spoiled rich kids. And, since, we're done with our business, now I got business with you. But Reigns says, he didn't see Elias or anything around, so this is going to be a challenge. And I challenge you right now. And Shane said, Reigns, you're making this challenge because you know about the whole cage match and everything. But before Shane was actually going to accept the challenge, he said, nope, not tonight. It's not going to be Shane versus Reigns, all right? And he said he did what pretty much, what all spoiled rich kids do. He wants when he wants. Shane pretty much says, I'm in control of the show. And, he's going to show him what control is. Shane pretty much brought out Drew McIntyre, which I'm assuming it's going to be a match with him and Strowman. Not Strowman, but Reigns. Or is it just like being the muscle? And then again, I don't even want to see Drew versus Reigns again, because that was literally the first thought in my mind as soon as he brought him out there. But I guess he's going to be like his muscle now, since I guess Elias is done probably with this whole Shane McMahon's Mean Street Posse 2.0 squad. And pretty much we will have this challenge, and it will be at Super Showdown. So in Saudi Arabia, it will be Shane McMahon versus Roman Reigns. And I guess in Shane's corner will be Drew McIntyre as his muscle. So I'm assuming that's going to be the match, and we'll see what goes from there. I don't really want to see that. I don't think a lot of people are really going to care in general. But, man, they keep pushing that Shane McMahon, folks. They are pushing that Shane McMahon. Next thing you know, of course, Brock and Paul were talking about the briefcase tonight. Usos came out, pretty much giving a high five to their cousin Roman. But before the match even started, Shane was walking with McIntyre about the whole Super Showdown. And, because I guess he thought McIntyre was going to be it, but it wasn't. Miz pretty much said that we're not done with this yet, but Shane and McIntyre said, wait, they are done. And McIntyre says, if you're not done with that, then I'll have a problem with you tonight. So I guess it's going to be a match then after them. And he says, after I'm done with you, I'm coming after Shane again. Usos end up going against the Revival after that, which is a very good match. Despite the idiotic ways of how they got in here from Usi Hot and shaving their backs, which the announcers continue to talk about. This was not a bad match. This was a really good match. If it was a meaningful feud about it, I'm sure people would care more. They would care more about this thing, but Due to the random silliness, it's just the Usos being pranksters instead of badasses. Like, what you gonna do, Us? We gonna do this, Us. We got the whoopee cushions, Us. How we pranking this week, Us? We gonna get them, Us, 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 Us. That's what it's gonna be, man. We gonna slash the tires in their cars next, man. That's gonna be the thing. That's just what the Usos doing out here. That's what it's all about. Slashing cars and whoopee cushions and everything. But despite all of the, just silliness of it, this was not this was a very good match. Not a very good match, very great tag. I did love the tornado DDT. I believe Dash Wilder did to the outside of one of Usos. It ended up with Dawson getting a roll up on Jimmy Uso holding tights. I mean, as they crack over the Shatter Machine, but Uso dodged it, but one held onto the other, and they got the pin. And crowd chant, "This is awesome" during the match. So I enjoyed this match. Like I said, despite all the idiotic stuff we've seen from the feud, not a bad match, and hopefully there's another one in the future that is twice as better. Alexa Bliss was telling Nikki Cross in the back, saying good job for last night, helping her out, but you didn't win the Money in the Bank briefcase. But he says okay, because you can have your own show. Next thing you know, the Revival pretty much were celebrating the Bliss over the top, saying we should be the next guest on here, which Bliss looked pretty much disgusted then after that. Bray Wyatt, Firefly Funhouse thing happened. It's not much to say from that. Pretty much it was like the same intro with, except they had nameplates for all of his characters, from Mercy the Puppet and Abby the Witch and Rabblin' Rabbit and Bray Wyatt himself, and they showed all these kids that were happy until they were sad, and they, it had him in this Joker mask at the end saying "Let him in." So a very interesting vignette from there. Alexa Bliss with her garbage show came out with Nikki Cross, which they had some coffee then after that.
I'm not sure about that.
As they introduced Becky Lynch as their guest. Pretty much. I guess they had their guests coming in, and Bliss looked at Becky saying, "You don't have two belts anymore." And before Becky could say anything, the Iconics, who are very annoying, of course, come out there saying, we might as well call you Becky One Belt and everything. And they said, they didn't, that's why we got two. And it wasn't even in the same ring. And, we won our belts at WrestleMania. But Becky made the greatest point ever, saying, I defended my titles more than in one night than you two have ever defended them since WrestleMania. And that's a fact, people. They've barely defended his titles. Hell, they've barely even been in the ring. Even when they've been in the ring, they just lose all the time. So, the truth from Becky saying that the Iconics was 100% true. Next thing you know, Lacey Evans comes out, as she says, typical man, that, giving her the proper credit. Becky pretty much says, the only reason why I'm no longer Becky Two Belts is because of you. And pretty much Becky said that, the lady came around, you got tapped out last night. Becky pretty much told Evans that you couldn't get the job done, so you wanted to try to get one of the belts off of me. And, I could slap around you and the Iconics right now, slapping the heads off these dopes. And pretty much says 3 of us and 1 of you. So I guess it's going to be a tag match. Nikki Cross says, I'll be your partner. Becky was with it. And says, you're still one short of one person. Which I guess she looked at Bliss. Bliss will do. But Bliss says, I got nothing to do with this. And Becky pretty much says, listen, just stand there. Look pretty. The man will do the rest. Which is a legitimate fact. So she's not lying about that. Which Bliss pretty much brought her coffee. So this girl was in ring gear. And we'll get to the tag match. But she literally did nothing but stand outside and drink coffee. So she couldn't be in the match last night due to medical issues. But to what I've been hearing is boob job. And I guess she can still not wrestle. So hey, you just stand there. You put on your wrestling gear and look hot for everybody. And so they can stare at you. But this match, especially with the Iconics, how bad they are, and especially the spot where you could hear Becky very loudly tell Billie Kay to move closer, so she could actually hit her spot out there. So I don't know, man. The Iconics is horrible. All right, they are garbage. But pretty much Lacey Evans ended up walking out, never really interacting with Becky in the match, pretty much taunting her. And I guess I'm not going to do this today, so I'm going to avoid by walking out, which pretty much came in 3-on-2 match. Like I said, it was already botchy, but that move close to the line, I'm sure everyone heard that line. No. Move closer. Move closer. Becky ended up winning with a pretty much a leg drop from the middle rope on Billie Kay for the win. Bliss tried to come and act like she was celebrating with them. I don't know where this Bliss and Nikki Cross thing is going. What is it going to... Because in my mind, it's like this. They're probably going to be a tag team, mostly likely. It's going to be one of those oddball teams. They may win the titles, just get them off the Iconics, because they're not doing nothing, really. And they're probably going to be a team until something happens and one screws the other. And maybe it turns Nikki Cross back to crazy Nikki Cross. But I can see that happening of them being some oddball team. But like I said, the girl did nothing. She just drank her coffee the whole match. Mick Foley came out pretty much to unveil the new title as he had some business to take care of. And something's been missing from Raw, alright? And it's going to make... We need to start making Raw great again around here. And let's make Monday Night Raw again. So he came with this championship belt and talked about people sacrificed what they've done to become a legend, which he introduced instead of the Hardcore Championship, which was a 24/7, that's what he said, 24 hours, 7 days a week, you gotta defend this championship, which I'm sure in everyone's mind thought, it's the Hardcore belt. It's the Hardcore belt. It's the Hardcore belt. It's the Hardcore belt. But no Hardcore Championship, unfortunately. So we get this green title belt that you could create out of WWE 2K19, look like, in the title creator section of the video game. And it was green. I don't know what to really think about this. So instead of just bringing the Hardcore Championship, but then again, it's so PG nowadays, you couldn't bring back the Hardcore Championship. It's all the fun stuff they did in the Attitude Era. We're going to have this title as it was just this green belt, very green, and gold in the middle. It was 24/7, and he says pinfall, and this is pretty much works like the Hardcore Championship. 24/7 rules, pinfalls anywhere as long as you got a referee with you. It doesn't matter where you are. You be taking a shower, eating food, anywhere. Okay, you all. Like I said, you all can get the belt. And Foley pretty much said, right now in the third, which you're gonna defend this belt in the third hour Raw, everything's just get mean and downright nasty, as he says. This is when people pretty much turn away from Monday Night Raw when the third hour goes, or they're tired that they can't stand the show no more. We're gonna find the first one. So it pretty much turns the first 24/7 champion, and it's gonna be like a scramble here. It does not matter if you are from Raw, SmackDown, 205, NXT, NXT UK, any WWE legend out there that wants to come here on Raw in the third hour, win it, you want it, come take your shot at it. So anybody from any brand from this company can come over here and get the belt, okay, from anywhere. And Foley pretty much said that whoever retrieves it first, he'll be the first champion. So this title now becomes a game of who can get the belt first, almost like a keep away game, which they have to fight for the ball in the middle. And who comes out? Multiple jobbers, which I'm about to call this the jobber belt at this point. All right, because who runs out there? EC3. I swear to God, I didn't know he was still in the company. He's already buried. Mojo Rawley, I give literally two shits about. Who cares about him? Cedric Alexander, it's a shame he's out there doing this. Gallows and Anderson, already buried. No Way Jose, who cares? Titus O'Neil, who cares? Eric Young, I didn't even know he was still there. Who cares? Which they all tried to fight their way to the title, and they couldn't even touch it because they kept arguing with each other. Even Rockstar Spud tried to get it. Even War Machine, but when Spud got in the ring, Titus O'Neil picked up Spud and threw him out of the ring. He picked up the belt, which I guess now he is the first ever 24/7 champion, the first ever one. And as he headed up the ramp, Rude ended up rolling him up for the pin. which now makes him the second 24/7 champ. Listen, this is immediate. This is just pretty much like the hardcore title. Anything happens, anything goes. The only difference between the hardcore title, I gave more craps about the hardcore title, and even you can give a crap more about the jobbers, okay? And those very entertaining segments and places where they defended this hardcore championship, because it can be anywhere. This 24/7 one, which is PG, I don't know if it will be. Did I think it was a little funny when I saw it? I chuckled a little. Don't get me wrong. I kind of laughed at it, but is this really gonna go anywhere in this very green horrible belt that's gonna get messed up like the hardcore title? Then I don't know what's gonna happen with this championship belt. Excuse me. Yes, I don't know where they're going with this 24/7 belt though, but it's literally like the hardcore title. It's just a little more PG. Now they do some entertaining segments and defend this title all over the place. I won't have a problem with it that much. But now I just said it like, why don't you just bring the hardcore championship back? It would have been easier on everybody. So there you go, which they continue to chase later on, even by Corbin and Bobby Lashley, which tell you they don't really give a crap about, because all the jobbers are going after this belt, so they don't really seem to care. Drew McIntyre didn't win against The Miz. What can I say? It's not, match wasn't bad. I just kind of find it funny that McIntyre can't really take down Miz that easily, which he ended up winning thanks to Shane, and then he had a Claymore kick, so it was like 13 minutes out there. Pretty much they were going to hit the coast to coast on Miz, but Roman came out for the save. Of course, he takes out McIntyre with the Superman punch, and, pretty much helps the Miz off from that point. And then from that segment, Tri Caruso's talking to Kofi Kingston, Seth Rollins, how, tonight about the Money in the Bank thing, that they could be, cashed in by anybody, but tonight they got to take care of Lashley and Corbin. As Kofi did his dance, Seth wouldn't do it with him. They have I guess they showed the Rey Mysterio Samoa Joe thing, which they have Samoa Joe cutting a selfie video talking about his shoulders went out on the mat, and that Rey Mysterio has suffered a dislocated shoulder after he attacked him afterwards, and he's going to take that title back from Rey Mysterio now. Like do the honorable thing, or Dominic threatening him again too. He was going to set an example for him out there. The title again, which Bobby Roode runs out the building, looks at Truth, gets in R-Truth's trunk of his car. Truth tells everybody that he went that way. They run off. He was trying to help Roode, but when Roode opened the front door, there was a referee there. Truth pretty much knocked him into the car, put him onto the ground, pinned him there, making him the third ever 24/7 champion. So was he the champion for the rest of the week, since it's only supposed to be defended on Raw, or is it defended everywhere? Could it be defended on SmackDown tomorrow night? I would just say the difference between another difference between the hardcore and the this 24/7. I know it's just created. The only thing with the hardcore is more entertaining segments during that time, especially with Crash Holly. That was the most thing about the hardcore championship, you remember, was Crash Holly. I don't know how many times he was champion, but he is synonymous with that belt as several others just for winning it. I think the difference with the hardcore is that any man or woman could win that belt. Come on, I remember people like Trish Stratus winning, or even Terry Reynolds winning the damn belt too. Anybody could win. This stuff right here, I don't know what's gonna work. And let me tell you one thing: when Mick Foley had brought out that belt, you notice how the crowd did not really react to that. Okay, it looked like they could not have given any type of crap about this belt. They just kind of sat along and look at it, waiting for something to happen, and did not know really how this worked. Okay, they don't even know much about this belt, and it just looked like they did not care about this title or who was out here fighting for it. So it's not much to say from that. But in the main event, Seth Rollins and Kofi Kingston went against the Corbin Coalition there. Lashley and Corbin immediately attacked Seth from behind. Kofi tried to make the save, but did not work. They started working on Rollins until he had a suicide dive on both of them outside. Kofi ended up hitting a trust fall on them. It got a bit chaotic once there was a chair involved in too. Kingston ended up hitting a Trouble in Paradise on Corbin. Once again, Corbin is pinned, but he's the main event of Raw. They continue to keep in there. Lashley immediately pretty much got a chair after that because he speared Kingston, but Rollins pretty much super kicked the chair, and as they were trying to get up, Brock Lesnar's music played. Kofi and Seth pretty much holding chairs, then defending themselves as Lesnar looked around, teasing the Money in the Bank if he was going to get in. Heyman says, nah, we'll come back next week, and we'll tell you who we're going after. So we're just going to wait on it, which, come on, I can't expect this anyway. I expect to cash in tonight. So, just teasing them off. I will say one thing for I'm out here, too. I did mess up on that tag match in the Money in the Bank review, there was no tag belts on the line. I don't know why I kept really believing that, but I swear they did say that, but I guess I was wrong then from that point in time. But like I said, main event, not bad other than just pushing a Super Showdown, I could say. But then again, like I said, I didn't really see Corbin in the main event in general. But like I said, at least you learned a new few things from this. But Monday Night Raw, though, itself, I don't know. I did like the Usos and Revival match and the Ricochet and Bobby Roode, but just a lot of more crap on the board. And I didn't really mind the whole Seth and Kofi and Brock thing. That was actually a pretty good segment also. But stuff like this 24/7 rule, I don't know. Moment of Bliss, who really cares? Iconics, just dead. Buried. I think that's it to what I could say right now. Or what else I can remember about Raw, really, because it just either was something happening or it just wasn't nothing happening at the same time. I'm not really trying to remember what else happened on this show. I don't know why. I just had like a brain fart from there. But, you know, what? Ray dropping a video or McIntyre and Shane. Just kind of whatever because you just knew he was going to win. I don't know. There's not much to say about it in this review, though. But that's pretty much what I think about the show. I'm out here. I'll see you guys later. Peace. You know it's me, HWD. Comment the news and reviews. You don't even know what I do. Came and I saw. Hope you did enjoy this Monday Night Raw review of Monday Night Raw. But I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Ha! Starting instead of the video. But I'm out of here. See you guys later. Peace. Like I said, one more thing I should mention before I go. Just a quick note. If you see the Money in the Bank review, I messed up really saying the Usos won the I really believe those titles were on the line last night, those SmackDown belts. I don't know why I kept saying that, but I really should check the fine print for non-title. So I just kind of want to correct myself on that before I get out of here if you check out the Money in the Bank review. But I'm out of here. See you guys later. Peace.